Alright, so I thought I'd just make a video going over the most common questions that I get asked on YouTube. I actually answer most of these questions in the comment section, but it seems like a lot of people just don't get to see them, and people are asking me the same questions over and over again. So I guess at least this video, a lot more people will get the answers to their questions. So probably the most common question that I get asked is, what is my height? Yeah, I actually get this question so often. I actually put it into the About section on my YouTube channel. But anyway, my height is 5'10" or 178 centimeters. I guess along with that, I get asked, what is my body weight? My body weight right now anyway is 100 kg. So next question, how long have you been training for? Well, I started weightlifting when I was 15, but I did take quite a long break when my knees were quite bad. I think that was around 8 months in total, and I wasn't really training hard around that time, so I guess I've been training for over 7 years. Next question. Do you have an Instagram? No, I don't have an Instagram, and I really don't understand why people keep asking me that question, because I'm not going to make one, anytime soon at least. Like, to be honest, if I made an Instagram account, it would be just a lower quality version of my YouTube channel. Like on Instagram, I think you can only make videos less than 1 minute long, and the quality seems to be less, and it seems to be just designed for mobile phones. So I don't really see the point in making one. Like I understand a lot of people use Instagram, and if I did make one, I would probably get a lot of views. But for the moment, I think I'll just stick to YouTube. So next question, how often do you deadlift, and how is it structured on the days you do it? I actually don't deadlift that often, but at the moment I am doing quite a lot more than I used to, and that's mainly just because of my current knee injury. But before that, I probably wouldn't even do it that often, probably once every 4 or 5 months. And that's mainly just because I don't see the deadlift as a necessary assistance exercise for the Olympic lifts. And even if I wanted to focus entirely on increasing my deadlift, I probably wouldn't even do it that often because it's such a stressful exercise. Right, so the next question. I was wondering how much time you spend on stretching. I really don't spend that long stretching, probably 5 minutes before a training session, and I don't do any stretching afterwards. And that's mainly because I developed a mobility I need for weightlifting, so I don't really see the point in increasing it further. And honestly, I was already flexible enough the first day I walked into the gym. Like, I was able to get into the bottom of the squat and have a good overhead position in the snatch and clean jerk. If you want to know how long you should stretch before a training session, it really depends on how bad your mobility is. I guess your age and if you have a chronic injury is another factor. But some people need to stretch for 30 to 45 minutes before a training session. A lot of people think you should spend the majority of your time stretching after a training session, but if you do it before a training session, you'd be able to at least get into the positions required for the Olympic lifts. Also, a lot of people ask me for stretches to do for the Olympic lifts, but I think it'd be kind of pointless to make a video about that because there's already a ton of videos on YouTube about that. So there's a lot of people asking me to post my program, or for me to post a program that people can follow, and I just get the feeling that if I post my program, a lot of people would try to copy it 100%, which is obviously a bad idea. Because my program is designed for myself only, and if someone tried to copy it, they would probably just get injured, or they just won't respond to it at all. People forget that every program should be individualized. You have to take into account how long you've been training for, what injuries you have, and what exercises you respond to best. There's loads of things to take into account. My advice for people looking for a program to follow is just to find a coach. And if you can't find a coach, there's loads of programs you can find online, and I guess you can modify them to suit whatever works best for you. A lot of people ask me about my diet and what supplements I take. My diet has actually changed quite drastically. I completely eliminated animal products on my diet about 9 months ago, and even 2 or 3 months before that, I only ate small amounts of meat, probably only one meal a day, or I at least had very small portions. But anyway, the majority of my calories comes from grains and legumes, and I only eat enough fruits and seeds and whatever to get the required amount of micronutrients I need in a day. The only supplements I take are vitamin D, B12, DHA and EPA, and that's derived from algae. Like, I probably get enough of them in the 4 to 5 foods I eat, but I just take them just to make sure I get enough. I don't take any supplements like creatine or citrulline malate because they barely increase performance, and I just don't want to waste my money. I don't take pre-workouts either because coffee is good enough for me. A lot of people ask as well, what's the best set and rep range to use for squats, or what do I find to be the best? Well, for me, my favorite is probably 5x5, but sometimes I do 10 sets of 3 sets of 8, and sometimes I do multiple singles, maybe up to 15 at a heavy weight. Like, it really doesn't matter what you do as long as you keep adding weight from week to week. But for me anyway, I prefer higher reps, and that's just because I'm using less weight, so there's a lower chance of injury, and that way I'm doing more total volume as well, which builds more muscle mass, so that's also good for injury prevention. People ask why I don't use a belt, knee sleeves or wrist wraps. The main reason I don't use any of them is because I just don't like the look of them. And I know that sounds a bit ridiculous, but like, when I first seen powerlifting, I just seen a bunch of lifters barely being able to walk up to the squat rack, and to me that just looked a bit ridiculous. Like, they didn't look like athletes to me. And then I started watching some weightlifting videos on YouTube, and I think the first video I saw was Perez Stimas at the 1996 Olympics, and he wasn't using any belt or knee sleeves, and to me he just looked like an athlete. And yeah, that's just the main reason I don't wear any of them, because I just want to look and feel like an athlete when I lift. Another reason why people don't use them as well is to cover up injuries, which is a bad idea. You should try to find the source of the problem. Like, it's probably related to your technique or form. But if you're old or have chronic injuries, it's probably wise to use them just so you can train. Like, top lifters use a belt and knee sleeves just to be able to lift more. Like, if you ever use knee sleeves, you'll notice coming out of the bottom of the squat is actually easier compared to not using them. Alright, I think I'll just finish up with those questions. I know there's a few questions that I didn't answer, but I guess I can leave that for next time. So if you want to see another one of these videos, let me know in the comment section.